Yes, people, how are we doing? Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel, where it is time for Matchweek 13 of the 21-22 Bundesliga season. Now let's have a quick look on how everyone has done in Matchweek number 12. The Hat got 1 out of 9. I think that's the worst performance of the Hat so far this season, so very, very well done to the Hat, or commiserations to the Hat, I should say. So nobody got beaten by the Hat. Myself, I got 5 points, and that was the high score this week, was 5. There were a few 4s, a few 3s, and a few 2s as well. So we'll see who has got what. So the Hat has got 1, Balam 2, Reese 2, the Asian Sensational FC 3, very good going. Lanzo 4, Chris Welsh 4, Sean Brennan 4, and Shane 4. Then comes myself 5, James 5, and Sportcat 1 on 5 points. So we go to Matchweek 13, and to begin with, we have VFB Stuttgart against Mainz. 2 wins to Stuttgart and 3 wins to Mainz. The last result was a 2-0 victory to Stuttgart. Well, Stuttgart were on the end of a 2-1 defeat to Borussia Dortmund, and what I will say is that they were very unlucky. I thought they probably could have got a point in that game. The way that they played, they managed to get, a very, very good equaliser in the end. It was just the brilliance of Marco Reus to get that winner for Stuttgart. But they are back in front of their home fans, so they'll be hoping for a win as well. Mainz managed to get a 1-1 draw with FC Köln. It has to be said, it's probably 2 points dropped because they did go ahead and they were looking the better team there as well. But obviously FC Köln were not to be denied, and it was a really, really good finish in the end in a 1-1 draw, which probably was a fair result either way. This is a very tough one to call because, Stuttgart and Mainz are playing very, very well. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I can't separate these two. I think it'll be a very good, close game, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. So we shall see what happens there. VFL Bochum against Freiburg. 2 wins to Bochum, 2 draws and 1 win to Freiburg. The last result was a 2-0 victory to Bochum. Well, Bochum 1-0 defeat against Bayer Leverkusen, which I was very impressed with. I thought they actually contained Leverkusen very well. Had a couple of opportunities as well. Hit the post in the side the first 2 minutes. The goal, it's poor defending. It's a very, very good header from the Leverkusen player. But keeper. Keeper does his best to keep it out, but it was a goal, and obviously because of the goal line technology, it did pick it up anyway. But to be fair, Bochum could have been 2 or 3 down by half time, but they actually gave it a good go in the second half and were very unlucky to come away with a defeat. Anyway, Freiburg. That's 2 defeats in a row, but they're not the one for trying, you'd have to say. 2-0 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Look, a very good win for Frankfurt, has to be said. Very disappointing with it. They lost by 2-0 because in that second half, they were the only team that looked like winning in that game. Because get back into it, I should say. And I was very impressed with them. And you know what? Freiburg's goalkeeper, I think, has got an 86% save percentage rate or something, which is like the highest in the Bundesliga this season. And you know what? Freiburg, before those 2 games, were in very, very good form. And so hopefully they can get back to that good form. Anyway, but it's a very, very good win for Frankfurt. And because of that, Bochum have got a good home record recently, but I'm going to just pip Freiburg to win this one. I think Lanz will be obviously hoping that Freiburg get another win. I'm going to go for Bochum 1, Freiburg 2. And now we have Grutterforth against Hoffenheim. It is 3 wins to Hoffenheim, 1 draw and 1 win to Grutterforth. The last result was a 2-2 draw. Grutterforth, they were absolutely abysmal against Borussia Mönchengladbach. It wasn't because Borussia Mönchengladbach were good. It was Grutterforth were terrible. Really, really poor. I mean, enemies of their own downfall. And the keeper's had an absolute nightmare with the second goal. Plays it straight to... played it straight to Florian Neuhaus, and Neuhaus has a simple test to put in the back of the net. It was a very, very simple finish for that. 1 point, 1 point from 12 league games is not good enough for Grutterforth, but they knew that it was going to be tricky anyway. But can they finally get a win? And can they finally get a home win? I think that's 21 games at home now that they're without a win in the Bundesliga. It's not good enough. It is not good enough. Hoffenheim, on the other hand, a 2-0 victory against Leipzig. And I mean, look, you have to say that Peter Galacci has not covered himself in glory, I would have to say, for the first goal. Completely misses it, and the Hoffenheim player manages to get a header to it, and it's a good finish, to be fair. And then, they managed to get the second goal, so it's a very good victory for Hoffenheim. How do I see this one going? Unfortunately, I can only see a Hoffenheim win. I think it's going to be a narrow win, but I'm going to go for a win nonetheless. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Hoffenheim. I just think they'll be too strong for Grutterforth. So 1-0 victory to Hoffenheim. And now we have Hertha Berlin against Augsburg. 4 wins to Berlin and 1 win to Augsburg. The last result was a 2-1 win to Hertha. Hertha losing the Berliner derby by 2-0 against Union. Look, Union were the better team throughout. Berlin did have their chances a little bit as well, but it was a very good victory for Union, and a very, very good win for Union Berlin. So they'll be hoping to bounce back. That is for sure. Augsburg, surprise of the weekend by beating Bayern Munich by 2-1. Very, very impressive performance. And you know what? It was, they did go into a 2-0 lead very early on, and Bayern did get a late goal, but it wasn't enough. And I have to say, I was very impressed with the way that Augsburg played in that game. Really, really impressive stuff. So, how do I see this one going? I mean, on balance of form, you'd have to say that I think Hertha are probably the better of the two, but whether or not they can get the win is another matter. But I do think they'll be too strong at the Olympiastadion. 2-0 I'm going to go for against Augsburg. We shall see what happens. And now a very interesting matchup. We have FC Köln against Borussia Mönchengladbach. 2 wins to Köln and 3 wins to Gladbach. Last result was a 3-1 win to Gladbach. Well, FC Köln managed to get a 1-1 draw in Mainz. The only thing is that Anthony Modeste has gone off injured, so hopefully he's not too seriously injured, because they definitely need him. Anthony Modeste has been absolutely fantastic this season so far. So that is a bit of a blow. That is a bit of a blow to lose your star man. Mönchengladbach 4-0 against Grutterforth. Jonas Hoffmann getting 2 of the goals. As I said, Neuhaus getting the other one. As well. It's been a very, very good performance for Mönchengladbach, and I loved the fact that the passing movement was back there. Really, really good passing movement. Really, really slick passing from Mönchengladbach. So this is a very tricky one to call, because Mönchengladbach are unbeaten. At home. FC Köln haven't lost many games this season, which is impressive to say at the very least. But I've just got a feeling there will be goals in this game. And I'm actually going to go for Mönchengladbach to come out on top in a 5-goal thriller. FC Köln 2, Borussia Mönchengladbach 3. I think this could be an absolute classic. So we will see what happens anyway. But Mönchengladbach to get a 3-2 victory against FC Köln. And now we have Wolfsburg against Brusha Dortmund. 5 wins to Borussia Dortmund. 2-0 victory to Dortmund. Wolfsburg, well, they managed to get a 2-2 with Arminia Bielefeld. They were 2-0 down for a long, long time. And then Lucas Nemicha manages to get if you haven't seen that second goal, it is an absolute peach. Nothing that Stefan Ortega can do in the Arminia Bielefeld goal, it has to be said. Wolfsburg did lose 1-0 to Sevilla midweek as well. Their Champions League hopes are hanging by a thread. To be fair, any one of those four could still go through in that Champions League group. It's absolutely incredible to what has happened in that group. I think Wolfsburg have got Lille left, and it's a shootout between Sevilla and RB Salzburg. So interesting, very, very interesting stuff. Borussia Dortmund, they did beat Stuttgart by 2-1. However, they are out. Yes, the big headlines of probably this Bundesliga weekend is that they are out of the Champions League. They cannot qualify now for the next round because literally, were they to beat Besiktas at home, Sporting have a better goal difference. They are -6 goal difference. So, look, congratulations to Sporting, but Dortmund, big questions need to be asked. Look, they are missing Holland, you'd have to say, for sure. It was a good victory against Stuttgart, but because of Dortmund's unpredictable form at this moment in time, and I know they're only a point off, Bayern Munich at the top of the Bundesliga, but they could easily go top. They could easily go top. But having said that, I feel there's a little bit more in this Wolfsburg team, and I don't think we've seen enough of this attacking flair from this Wolfsburg team. So I'm actually going to go for a very surprise scoreline here. I'm going Wolfsburg 2, Borussia Dortmund 1. I think Wolfsburg will win this one. And now we move on to Bayern Munich against Arminia Bielefeld. 4 wins to Munich and 1 draw. The last result was a 3-3 draw between the sides. Well, Bayern Munich going well in Europe, but losing 2-1 in the Reich Derby. Very, very interesting stuff it was. Look, they had all the chances, but Augsburg managed to keep them out in that game. Look, very, very good win for Augsburg as well. But Bayern, back in front of the Allianz, you'd probably expect them to win. Oh, Arminia Bielefeld. Honestly, it's just one of those games for them where they did so well. They did so well to go into a 2-0 lead, and then they've just allowed Wolfsburg right back into the game. Now, people will probably say that that's a kind of a sign that they could potentially go down this season, and I really hope not, but it does feel like that they could go down this season. This is a very interesting game, this one, but because, as I've said, there was a 3-3 draw the last time that both these sides met. I'm going for a 3-1 win to Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich will bounce back. The one thing you don't do is beat Bayern Munich straight after an international break, and I just have a feeling that Munich will be determined to get another victory. So, 3-1 win to Bayern Munich. So, 2 Sunday games now, and we have Eintracht Frankfurt against Union Berlin. 3 wins to Frankfurt, 1 draw, and 1 win to Union. It is a 5-2 victory to Eintracht Frankfurt, the last meeting. Look, Frankfurt, great victory, 2-0 against Freiburg. Don't think anyone expected them to go to Freiburg and get a win, but fair dues, and it was a very good victory in the end. Union Berlin managed to get the Berlin Derby win with a 2-0 win, and yet again, the man of the moment, as I've been saying, Taiwo Awoniyi, has been absolutely sensational. I think that's his 8th Bundesliga goal, more than any other player in Union's team, and he has been fantastic. He had really been fantastic. Frankfurt, they're hit and miss, and you just don't know what Frankfurt's going to turn up, and I just have a feeling that unpredictability is going to be an effect on this game. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Union. I think this will be a very, very interesting game anyway. So now we have Leipzig against Buyer Leverkusen. 2 wins to Leipzig and 3 draws. The last result was a 1-0 victory to RB Leipzig. Leipzig, 2-0 defeat to Hoffenheim. A very, very disappointing result. Yes, I know they have injuries. Poulsen's injured. But they've still got, Christopher Nkunku, who seems to be doing well in the Champions League. A 4-0 victory over Club Bruges. That'll do them no harm in getting Europa League either. Yeah, Leipzig is a funny one. Their home form has been very, very interesting, to say the very least. Bayer Leverkusen managed to get a 1-0 victory over Bochum, and that was a very, very good performance. A very good win in the end. There's been 3 draws out of the last 5 meetings between these two. I am going to go for a 1-1 draw between Leipzig and Leverkusen. I think it'll be a draw. So that is what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and we will see what the hat thinks very, very shortly. So I am going for a 1-1 draw between Stuttgart and Mainz, a 2-1 win for Freiburg away at Bochum, 1-0 to Hoffenheim away at Grutterforth, 2-0 Hertha against FC Augsburg, 3-2 win to Borussia Mönchengladbach away at Köln, 2-1 home win for Wolfsburg against Dortmund, 3-1 win to Bayern Munich against Arminia Bielefeld, 1-0 win to Union Berlin against Eintracht Frankfurt, and a 1-1 draw between Leipzig and Bayer Leverkusen. Now it is time for the hat, and let me just check that all 3 are in there. Home win, away win, and draw. Yes, they are. So we will begin. Let me get a pen for you guys. So Stuttgart against Mainz. What has the hat said? An away win. Could be very interesting, that one, actually. Could be a very, very interesting one of that. VFL Bochum versus Freiburg. Home win. To be fair, Bochum are better at home than they are away. So, who knows? Who knows that one? Grutterforth against Hoffenheim. Draw. Interesting. I mean, Grutterforth need wins, so that could be something else. Hertha Berlin versus Augsburg. Home win. Home win for Hertha. FC Köln against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Yes, Hattie. Away win. Away win. That will do nicely. If they can get a win, that would be doing nicely. Oh, big one, this one. Volsberg Dortmund. What is the hat going to say for this one? Draw. Could be. Could be. So, Bayern Munich against Arminia Bielefeld. 3-3 draw the last meeting. What does the hat think is going to happen to this one? Home win. Yeah, I think you could be right there. I think the hat could do well this week. Just depends on what people predict. Eintracht Frankfurt against Union Berlin. Draw. That could be a draw, actually. Because you can never tell with Frankfurt's unpredictability. And finally, we have RB Leipzig against Buyer Leverkusen. What is the hat going for? An away win. Interesting stuff. So, just to clarify, so the hat has gone for an away win for Mainz at Stuttgart, a home win for Bochum against Freiburg, a draw between Grutterforth and Hoffenheim, a home win for Hertha Berlin against Augsburg, an away win for Borussia Mönchengladbach at FC Köln, a draw between Wolfsburg and Dortmund, home win for Bayern Munich against Bielefeld, a draw between Eintracht Frankfurt and Union Berlin, and an away win for Bayer Leverkusen at RB Leipzig. So that is what I think. That's what the hat thinks. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And we will see what happens in these games. And obviously, there are a lot of good games this week to look forward to anyway. But until then, it's goodbye from me. If you do like the content, please hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the video as well before you go as well. And also turn bell notifications on for every upload that comes on to this channel. Yes, the Bundesliga coming around thick and fast, and we shall see what happens very, very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.